So if you're putting the information in to start with wrong, it's going to keep processing it incorrectly. And that's where we come in to provide that guidance. AI is good. Automation is good, but only to a certain level. It needs human interaction.
Welcome to the Bishop Stortford Community Podcast, the show where we shine a light on the incredible businesses, community leaders, and local legends shaping our town. I'm your host, James O'Donnell, and today we are joined by Manchee. Great to have you on the show.
Thank you very much for having me, James.
Not a problem. For those of us who don't know who you are and what do you do here in Bishop Stortford?
Okay, so I'm the owner of GEMS Bookkeeping and Accountancy Services. We're a family-run practice and we provide your usual accountancy, bookkeeping and payroll services to the local community. But we also provide services across England, from West Sussex all the way up to Scotland.
Awesome. How long have you been going, Em?
Okay, so I've been going since the late 90s, 99 to be exact, when first started down this journey. Moved up from London to Bishop Stortford 8 years ago. I was very scared on how it was going to impact my business, but I felt as a family we had to make the move. But it's been great. Honestly, the local community is really nice. It sort of reminds me of London in the late 80s, where everyone, as an example, you go into a restaurant and it's actually run by a small business rather than by a corporate, small businesses who care about their clientele. So It's been a good move.
Yeah. I've only just moved here 18 months ago, so I'm still getting to know everybody. But what do you think helped you when you moved here 8 years ago? Because for your business, it must be all about connections and networking and getting to know who's who.
Well, I suppose, funnily enough, prior to moving here, when I was in London, the business I never advertised, I never promoted the company. It was just built off recommendations. I was worried how that would work moving out here, but actually it's been fine. The recommendations have continued, but we also started to build up quite a good local base of clients. I think during lockdown, I learned to do things as a business owner that I wasn't overly comfortable with, like marketing the business, social media, all of that sort of stuff that came as a foreign thing for me. But it's been really good, I have to say.
What has been the thing where you're moving into that kind of business owner, where you're delivering, but you're also having to network and get your name out there? Has that been an easy transition?
No, I can't say. Look, I'm not great as public speaking in any way whatsoever. So I have found the networking part of it really a difficult thing to do. It actually came off the back of post-lockdown, post-Brexit, when the bounce back loans kicked back in. And then, of course, we had a lot of businesses suffering.
Right.
And closing. And it was at that point, as a business owner, just because we're accountants, we're also business owners trying to run a business at the end of the day. So it came to that point where you have to make the decision on actually, what am I going to do? Am I going to let a staff member go, or am I actually going to start promoting this business? So that's where the networking, the social media stuff all came in. The thing I regret the most is never asking for Google reviews before. That would have been, that was really short-sighted of me, I think, but it's gone really great on that front. And the phone's constantly ringing now. So it takes a few years, but it really does work. Luckily, as it happened, none of that, even though I was trying all of those things, the business sorted itself out actually by, again, a referral. But I came to the realization, actually, never take your eyes off your business. It's the sort of thing we try to guide our clients through, and practice what you preach.
Today's podcast is brought to you by a great local business helping people take back their time in Bishop Stortford. If your weekends are getting swallowed by cleaning instead of time with your family, I get it. As a dad of 2 young boys, I know how fast those moments can go, and I've been let down by cleaners before. That's why I use Time For You Cleaning. They're reliable, friendly, and give you one less thing to worry about. If you want your time back, head to timeforyou.cleaning and let them know the podcast sent you. Get back your precious time and support local. Right, back to the show.
When people hear accountancy, bookkeeping, some of us who might not be too plugged into how that part of business is run, what kind of thing do you actually help people with? Who would be your ideal client to give you a call today and say, hey, can you help me, for example?
To be honest, any client, anyone running a business. So from your sole trader, plasterer, all the way through to aviation. We look after all different types of clients here. We try to do something slightly different, I feel, from other accountancy firms. We're very much a no question is a silly question. Ultimately, people feel, if we look at times gone by, people felt uncomfortable asking their accountants questions. They didn't want to feel silly or have somebody undermine them or patronize them. We're very much an accountancy practice that believes in no question is a silly question. And the more you understand the financial aspect of your business, the more confidence you will have in growing that business. It really is about looking at your numbers. Or on the other side of it is knowing actually when to change direction. It's not working. So this is all of the sort of things that we help our clients with. But in addition, we're in a time now of AI. So you've got all of these online softwares and business owners are just expected to understand how these things work. And often they get it wrong because they're lacking in the support and the guidance. So this is a really big space that we're trying to fill. We do feel that the more we teach, the more empowered our clients feel, the more confident they feel to move forward and to progress in their business. Because I think running a business is scary, no matter what size, no matter, building it. It's really important to build a trustworthy team around you to include your accountant. And it really does matter. And even though I'm an accountant, I do feel it. I'm trying to run a business too. So I do understand that side. I have the same fears. I need support, but in different areas with things I'm not good at, like IT or social media. So I've had to build my own team of people around me that I trust to get that support.
I suppose with that team around you as well, like one of the things that I always think about is I don't know that you say there's no such thing as a silly question, but I don't know what the question is I should be asking, if that makes sense. So what should I be asking you about accountancy and about my business that I'm not asking you already?
Well, so we don't put clients into boxes. We don't just automate everything based on volume. We tailor our service to the client. You could have two different clients running similar businesses, but their needs and requirements are entirely different. So as an example, I would even remote onto people's computers to guide them through their numbers, understand where they need help. We've got some clients that are actually really good with understanding their numbers, but not good at the processing of their numbers, or not good at the VAT extraction, or understanding what's vatable, what isn't. Or we've got other clients where they just want to know that somebody is keeping an eye on their figures if they need to employ a staff member, that they can actually afford to do it. So everyone is slightly different, and we do really tailor our service to the individual client. You cannot put people in boxes, which happens a lot now, because everyone's needs and skills differ.
You mentioned AI. Is that, my wife works in AI a lot in law, and there's the danger of almost, I know I've discussed with her, is people chuck questions into AI and it gives made up answers that are written in such a way that people think, oh, that is verbatim what is the law or the truth, and it's just completely farcical, the information that they've been given back to them.
Yeah, because the thing is, well, that's no different. So if you think of ChatGPT, it's all about the question that you ask it, but you have to really give every element of detail with that question for it to churn out the correct answer. And it doesn't mean it's churning out the correct answer. So if you think about all of these online softwares, whether it's QuickBooks or Xero or Free Agent or whatever it might be, that people are automatically expected to know how to use, most people don't use them in the right way. They don't understand. They'll push transactions through a bank feed, not realizing actually it's the tax point date that you're looking for. But also the AI is reading off the information that you're churning into it. So if you're putting the information in to start with wrong, it's going to keep processing it incorrectly. And that's where we come in to provide that guidance. AI is good. Automation is good, but only to a certain level. It needs human interaction.
Yeah. It's not the fix-all.
It's not the
people
fix-all.
thought
And I don't believe it would ever be the fix-all.
No.
You know, I had somebody come to me not too long ago and say, oh, ChatGPT told me that I could put my radiators in my spare room down as a business expense. No, you can't. No, you can't do that. It's not wholly and exclusively for the purpose of the business. But of course, it's about the question in which she may have asked it in the first place to the answer in which it gave.
Yeah. There's going to be some people, I think, that get caught up by that.
A lot of people.
I'm sure.
A lot of people.
Is there anything, you can say no to this if you want, but is there anything peculiar or significant for people or for businesses in Bishop Stortford? Any benefits or things that they need to be aware of that you think could be useful to share?
Well, I mean, MTD for ITSA is coming up.
What's that? What's MTD for ITSA? That doesn't mean anything to me.
Okay, so it actually comes into force in April, so I've been trying to spread the word.
Okay.
But ultimately, it's making tax digital for sole traders and landlords for income tax. Now, if I'm honest, I wish this is something HMRC wasn't pushing forward with. I personally find it really unfair to these small businesses and landlords that are now going to have increased costs, where at the moment they would go on and submit their tax return anytime between April and January, and they can do it themselves. Now that's going to become much harder. You're taking these small business owners and you're asking them to submit returns 6 times a year. And you're asking for those returns to be consistent. And you're asking them to pay for software because they're going to need software enabled to facilitate this. And there needs to be consistency across the 6 filings. And so it's making it hard for them. And they're going to need to instruct accountants, which is actually not fair on them. So on top of the fact they're going to pay for software, now they're going to pay for accountants. And actually, even with the accountants, it's no longer going to be a case of this is a one charge at the end of the year because there are 6 filings. It's every quarter. So I would just say to people, really, if you're a small business, a sole trader, small business or a landlord, really start looking into that. Prepare yourself. It is a huge, huge change. The first year from April 26 to 27, HMRC are not imposing penalties for the first phase of people coming in. The second phase of people coming in, there will be penalties. So I would suggest 1 year, and what we've been prepping our clients 1 year before you're due to phase in, we're getting them onto softwares. We try to find the most cost efficient software depending on the client because all of their needs differ, to try and get that data to us on a regular basis, getting bank feeds, trying to guide them into setting up bank accounts for their business trade, whereas a lot of people will have it running through their personal accounts. A lot of things like that. We're just trying to get them organised 12 months before, so that we've got a 12 months trial period, a settling in period, so it doesn't come as a huge shock when they land into this new tax regime that's coming in.
If people have heard what you've said and they're running a small business, so they're a sole trader or a landlord, and they're like, okay, I need some help with this, how do they get in contact with you to have a conversation?
Just have a look at our website, send us an email, give us a phone call. We're always on the other end of the phone to support people. We're not going to engage clients that don't need to be engaged. For example, if, actually this morning we got a Google review. It was a really nice Google review from a lady that contacted me a couple of days before the end of tax season who was in a state of panic. I'm not going to onboard her as a client. That is not a fair thing to do. So I just looked on and helped her. not saying that I could do that for everyone. That's not practical. And I am trying to run a business at the end of the day. But we're only going to onboard people that we feel that need onboarding and that need our support and help.
And what's your website, Em?
www.gemsaccountancy.com.
Fantastic. I will link to that in the show notes. I'll also put links to your socials up as well. So if anybody wants to follow along, I know you drop out little bits of advice here and there, and just to keep people on their toes.
Thank you very much.
And then they can reach out to you to have that kind of conversation. But it's been enlightening for me. I'm sure we need a conversation at some point as well. Then.
For me as a business owner, put my practice to one side for one moment. You know, we've had the best 4 months. I think hard work pays off. And I've been doing this since the late 90s. We've had the best 4 months ever, James. Won 2 awards. We've got one with ICB, one with AAT. We've got 2 high commendations. We're growing in numbers. So we've taken on a couple more staff. We're moving to a premises in town. We completed on the 20th of January. So hopefully in a couple of months we'll be able to move in. So as a business owner, we're in a really good space at the moment. But to reassure all my clients out there, we're still the same people. We're only ever going to go to a certain point. We do believe in providing our clients with a quality and personal service. So we're not looking to expand and grow our numbers massively. We're going to be the same accountancy firm they're used to.
Fantastic. And it's great to hear that you're going to be getting into Stortford as well, you know, embedding yourself in that community, which you said as well that you're looking to do more of. You also sponsor the rugby?
Yeah, we sponsor Bishop Stortford Rugby Club. We try to, we've also sponsored the Old Harlow Theatre, some theatre production. So we do try to support our local community. I am a believer in that. We all need to come together to support each other. Brilliant.
Well, that's what we're trying to do on the podcast.
Yes,
shine a light on local businesses that are doing well, and it's great to hear, the journey that you've gone on to get here, and the support that you're given as well. And it's nice to hear a success story. It really is. Em, are you ready for some Stortford Spotlight questions?
I am.
Awesome.
This episode is supported by a proper local clinic just outside of Bishop Stortford. Most people don't wake up planning to see a chiropractor. It's the stiff neck that won't ease, the bad back that's killing your sleep, or that pain that suddenly makes work and family life harder. Takeley Chiropractic help people get out of pain and, even more importantly, stay out of pain. They don't rush you. They take time to understand you and make you feel better. They want to understand what you want to get back to doing, whether that's work, sport, or just spending time with your family. They're a local team, highly qualified, and recently they won an award for outstanding patient care. Have a look at takeleychiropractic.co.uk and see what they're all about.
These are 3 fast questions that we ask every guest that comes onto the Bishop Stortford Community podcast.
Okay, go for it.
First question. I like the way you got yourself prepared for this. This is good. First question. If you could put one sentence on a billboard in Jackson Square, what would it say, and who needs to hear it the most?
I'd say truth in numbers, strength in knowledge. Because when you really understand your number, what the number's telling you, you stop guessing and you start making confident decisions. So, I mean, I see a lot of people working incredibly hard, but they don't always truly understand their numbers or what's happening behind the scenes. So once you have that understanding, growth stops feeling scary and starts to feel possible.
It's difficult because people are so in their business, aren't they? And then you must come along and ask like 2 questions, bang, bang, and people will feel, oh, I didn't even realize they're the things that I should be aware of. Let me go and have a look at that. Yeah, I can see that. Good perspective for everyone. Thanks, Anne. Okay, question number 2. Where do you go in Stortford that you secretly hope never gets too popular?
Okay, so Olira, it's a little Greek coffee shop and bakehouse around the corner from our new office. I don't personally go there, but my staff do. They stop there most mornings to get their caffeine hit and they love it. So I secretly hope it doesn't get too popular or they'll start coming in late.
Yes, the queues. Every time I go past there are people out on the street trying to get in.
My guys.
Yeah, and they're sitting there at the little cafe, the little tables that are out the back there as well. We're trying to get them on the podcast at some point as well.
All right.
So that'd be great.
Personally, I love Persio's. I love their food. They've got really reasonable prices. So, I mean, that's always a win for me.
Okay, question number 3. Who's doing something special in town that more people need to know about?
So this was a difficult one because the list is honestly endless. I've got many clients in Stortford who are doing amazing things, so it wouldn't be fair for me to just pick out one. But if I had to choose to shine a light on someone who isn't a client, it would be a lady called Julie North at Hanbury Wealth. And I don't know if you've come across her yet.
No.
Hanbury Wealth and Julie North are incredibly active in supporting the local community, including looking after all of the sponsors at Bishop Stortford Rugby Club. But what really stands out about Julie is that she's not just someone who's only proactive until she's got your sponsorship and the sponsorship is signed and then, everything goes quiet. She's tirelessly engaging. She's trying to build genuine relationships between local businesses, sponsors and otherwise. And I would actually go as far as to say that her impact and genuine kindness is inspirational. She's a huge asset, in my opinion, to Hanbury Wealth. But saying that, I've met quite a few of them there. They're all great. I definitely recommend them. And anyone that knows me knows I do not recommend lightly.
What a shout out. And that would be someone who we'd love to, shine a light on and get on the podcast as well, to share the work that they're obviously doing there, and so that more people in the community are aware of that as well. Really interesting. Thank you for that, Em. Last time again, what's the best place online for people to find you?
www.gemsaccountancy.com. Send us an email, drop us a phone call. We're always on the other end of an email or call.
Excellent. That's wonderful. That's a wrap, Em. That's our podcast done. Thank you for joining us today on the Bishop Stortford Community Podcast.
Thank you for having me, James.
Not a problem. If you're out there and you enjoyed this episode, the best way that you can support us, the podcast, is to hit a follow, leave a quick review on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, wherever you're watching or listening to this, and then share it on your socials so you can show the rest of the community what Bishop Stortford has to offer, and maybe share it with someone in town who's not on social media so that they can find out more about what's going on in Bishop Stortford. And if you've got a local legend, someone like Em, that we can shine a light on and we can feature next on the podcast, drop their name in the show notes underneath in the comments, and I will reach out to them and get them booked onto the podcast. Em, thanks again for joining us on the Bishop Stortford Community Podcast.
Thank you, James.
Thank you.
This episode is brought to you by True Tone Media. If you want a podcast, testimonials, or a better way to tell your story, but you keep feeling stuck because video feels awkward or cringe, that's exactly what we fix. True Tone Media creates conversational video for your business without that cringe. If you know you need to produce content but don't know where to start, hit the link in the show notes and we can have a chat. Okay, back to the show.